I am going to hit record. We are live on Facebook for the very first episode of Chakras and Sh, a playful look at spirituality. I don't know if I'm going to go with my radio voice and do the whole Steve Smith. Welcome to Chakras and Sh. I'm your host, the Playful Paladin. Here we are today with a special guest live from, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might go calm and just go, hey, today we're talking about chakras and shit. I don't know how to spell or pronunciate chakras or chakras, but these are the energy centers that align us up there to the dimensions, and I'm sure we'll get into the dimensions, down through Gaia, through our body, into Gaia. My guest today understands this a lot better than me. And a quick little story. I realize I'm shaking this table. Important not to shake the table. Quick little story. Tony and I met in Kathmandu, Nepal, February 1st, 2018. 19 or 18? 19, last year, at an Irish pub. We were both on assignment with All Hands and Hearts Smart Response to rebuild schools in Nepal, literally at the top of the mountain. And within 20 seconds, I knew I fell in love with this man. He is incredible. And Chakras and Shit is about spirituality, but in a playful way. And for me, I didn't really understand what spirituality was. I had 2 feet firmly planted on earth and was part of the woo-woo crowd. Oh, who are those weird woo-woos? But when I went around the world, starting in November of 2018, beginning in Lombok, Indonesia, my first stop was Bali. And anyone who's been to Bali, especially Ubud, understands there's an energy out there that we're all tapped into, if you want to be. If you want to be. And I chose to get tapped into that world. And staying with my friend Chad in a small little village, I meditated for the first time in my life. It was breathing. It was stillness. Some visions came, some thoughts went through my head, did a little workout with them, went for some tasty food, felt healthy, felt ready. That journey led me to Nepal. And we'll talk about the Bali stuff in a future episode, but today it's about Tony. And I don't know when I met Tony if I would have understood Tony. He is a true healer. If you don't know what a healer is, you're about to find out. Incredibly spiritual, wildly entertaining, and you just got to meet him to understand. And I'm very just proud to call him my friend, and we're going to bring him on here, and you're going to understand why Tony was selected / volunteered as my first guest on Chakras and Shit. So without further ado, here's the man. As soon as it joins. Oh. Baj, what's happening?
Back in the room.
Back in the room, buddy. I was just telling a quick story about how you and I met. What was your recollection of first said meeting?
Our first meeting was at the Irish bar. Like many other times when I've bumped into, I've bumped into quite a few people there over the years since I've been coming to Nepal and volunteering. For some reason, I don't know why it is there. I'm just drawn to people, you know, or vice versa as well. They're drawn to me, and there's an instant connection. I mean, this year I met a guy from Ireland, and Sean, from Southern Ireland, from Ireland itself. I know, not Northern Ireland. And he was sat in a chair, sort of like about 5 feet away from me to my left, and I'm here. And I caught in my peripheral vision that this guy kept on looking at me, and I was picking up something, and I was looking at him, and we was looking at each other, like, you know? And we ended up having a conversation together, as me and you did. And So he says to me, he said, do you smoke gas? I said, of course I smoke gas. I know. It's good for the mind. It's good for the body. I know but not too much. I said, but if you smoke it, I know it opens the mind, expands the mind, expands the aura. I said, so he said, come upstairs. So we went upstairs into the big garden. We sat down, and I just sat down. I went, whoa, I've just had a vision. He said, so have I. He said, what was your vision? I said, do you want to really know this? He said, yeah. I said, two angels sat in heaven talking together, but pointing down to us. He said, shut the fuck up. He said, no, he said, I just had the same vision. So in a way, we are connected. As I've explained to you before, those who are awakened, those who wake up and have woken up are drawn to one another. They instantly recognize each other, not just because of they've woken up, but also we've met before in a previous life. We've done this work before, not just on this planet, but on other planets, since the very beginning of time, because we are eternal. This is just a physical representation of ourselves. You know, each body that we incarnate into is only a physical representation of who we are now, not of what we are. What we are is something entirely different.
What a way to kick off Chakras and Shit. Are you kidding me? Tell me all about that.
But this involves the chakras as well. The chakras are a bioelectric energy, and it's a growth pattern for as you grow. And every chakra represents 7 years of your life. Yeah, there you go. You got it there. You forgot the very one at the top. There's the 8th chakra, which is you know, your spiritual, it's your spiritual connection to the universe. Yeah. Well, that's your 7th. That's your crown chakra.
Oh, okay.
Right, that's the 7th one. So the 8th one stands just above your head here. So sometimes after meditation, if you just put your hand above it, above your crown chakra, sometimes you feel a tingling. Like in your palm of your hand, your fingers and everything. You can just feel it. I feel mine. I go like this. I feel that all the time. It's like, but that's your connect. That's your actual. It's like the umbilical cord to all that is the God consciousness. Okay. God is not a person. It's not a great bearded old man who sits there and the wrath of God. There is no wrath of God. People misinterpret it. Men changed the words many, many years ago to strike fear into the worshippers, so that the priesthood could still control. You know, because we're not allowed to use our minds as they know the way they use their minds. So they struck fear into us. But that connection, that consciousness. So the simple thing is, as I turned around and said to you one time, you're not a drop in the ocean. You know? The ocean is a drop in you. So consciousness, you know. So when you talk about God, dimensions, right? There's 9 dimensions.
9.
There's 9 dimensions. So Tesla was right when you think of the numbers 3, 6, 9. So there's 9 dimensions. So, but the only one that really counts when you think about it is the first dimension.
Okay. Tell me about
that. The singularity. I am.
Okay.
The singularity. I am. That very first dimension. I am. What I have on tattooed on my arm with the flower of life and the all-seeing eye. I am. I'm not the name my parents gave me. I'm not the number that's on my passport, my birth certificate, or anything else like that. I am. So I am came into existence. The Big Bang, whatever you want to call it, is consciousness. I am. But as this consciousness grows, the same as chakras, you know, same as your chakras grew as you grow, you know, then the more dimensions that were created. And there are beings that live in different dimensions, different entities, you know, some good, some good, but some malevolent as well. Some are nasty little buggers. You know, you've experienced that. You said yourself when you've done ayahuasca, you know, you enter different dimensions.
Yeah.
You know, so as you enter different dimensions and you see the different dimensions, you can see the good and you can see the bad. Because you're made up of darkness and light. You cannot have one without the other. You can not have forward without backwards. You can have not up without down, or you can have not left without right. All these things, there's always duality. There's always duality, but came from the singularity. But the one that counts most of all is the very first dimension. I mean, in the moment, we're in the third dimension, or fourth dimension, as they want to call it. We're entering into the fifth dimension. More and more people are being woken up now. More and more people. They're waking up to the world. They're seeing the evil in the world. Now, the evil of the world is these ones which we've been listening to, who've been sacrificing children for many years, including the Catholic Church and everything else like this. The child sacrifice has been going on for thousands of years. But they found that by drinking our blood, like the stories of the vampire and everything else like that, when they drink children's blood, who are only developing, they're young. Their spirits are pure. They have to be under the age of 10. So under the age of 10 years old, they're sacrificing these children to release the adrenaline through them. They take it from the pineal gland, or the pituitary gland, actually, the pituitary gland. But then through the eye, they drag that out, they drink the blood, it makes them younger. This is where we get the story of vampirism. How they stay young. So all these people that have been involved in this, which is what's going on at the moment, which have been taken down, the cabal, the deep state, all this other people. I mean, the deeper you go into the rabbit hole, the more that you find out. And you have to understand one thing. I think that the world is not ready to listen to what's been going to go happen. The world is not ready for this. They will not understand what these people have been doing to us. In America last year, 800,000 children disappeared, gone, never to be found again. That is impossible. Across the world, across the globe, 8 million children disappeared, gone. Where have they gone? Now they're being found. Now they're being found in Australia and underneath Australia, in Melbourne, especially Melbourne. That's why Melbourne's been shut down. The wider schools were shut down because no one can get to the kids then. Why you're being kept indoors with your children. No one can get near them anymore. This is a major thing. This is why this shutdown is happening. Why newborn people have to be indoors and be with your families. A lot of indigenous tribes. Just recently in Lagos, a Red Cross plane was stopped and searched by security. On board were children, boys and girls, and a black child can produce more adrenochrome for them than a white child, believe it or not. Was full of children under the age of 10 years old, have been taken from the country of Mali and Benin. And the French pilot and the Red Cross, there's a video to it now, it's out there on YouTube and everything, have all been arrested. And they're all involved in the Clinton Foundation. Yes, exactly. The Clinton Foundation were found to be smuggling children out of Haiti. All this, the Clinton Foundation is involved with Bill Gates and Obama. Obama's a Muslim anyway. I mean, like Barry is. I mean, all these things that's been going on. I mean, you can open up a different world to what you want to go and see. My power is for the children. I see what's going on in the background. I'll leave it at that. But we can go into that. I don't really want to delve too much into that. I'd rather talk, because it leads me into different things. But the main thing about is your first 7 years of life, your chakra, your root chakra.
Okay, root chakra.
That's your growth pattern.
Point out the root chakra for me.
The red one.
This one?
That's red.
Okay.
Yeah. Each color that you see there is the rainbow.
Okay.
7 colors to the rainbow. 7 chakras in your body. Each chakra is a note of music as well, a frequency, a bioelectric energy, which is connected to your whole spirit.
Beautiful.
This is like just a machine, really, in some way, but it's an organic machine. Go on, my hand. trying to hold this phone in my hand is going.
Are you
My
feeling
hand
the
is
heat?
just itching off.
Are you feeling the heat right now, my man?
It's crazy.
So
I mean, I'm trying to. It's blowing out so much energy. I've been lucky. I've been lucky coming here because I've been able to help a few people here. Surrendering, my friend, his mother's not been very, very well at all. She has problems down below. She had 9 children.
Cool.
9 children, bless her. And also she's been having bad headaches. She had bad chest. She has bad problems downstairs as well. So he asked me to go and stay with him for a few days. So I went, yeah, no problem. I'll come in. And I went, oh, your mum's in a bad way, isn't she? He said, yeah. I turned around and said, oh. I said, why am I feeling pain in my head? I said, why is my head smashed in? Why is my jaw broken? What's going on here? Who's the man here? Who's the man here? All I can feel is the side of my head is caved in. My jaw is broken and there's something in my neck. It's Matt. He said, Bajay, he said, this was my father. He said he was 71 years old or 72 at the time. He used to walk everywhere. And he got hit by a motorbike. So the motorbike hit him and he died instantly. He died instantly, but the side of his head was smashed in here. His jaw was broken. It snapped his neck as well. And he said, why is that in Bajay? I said, he needs to speak to your mother. I said, but I've turned around and said to him, tonight is not the night, but I have to go. When I go back, there's a meditation I have to do. So when I do this meditation and I come back to you again, I'll explain to you, ow, stop it.
Oh. He's get bit?
Like electricity just gone into my big toe, like a red hot needle. Like a needle just gone right in.
Okay. I want to touch on that. Can I jump in here, Tony, about your
Yeah, go on, go ahead.
Just to explain to our viewers and listeners exactly what you are, what you're feeling, and I want to touch on this idea that you're a healer. I posted a little picture of you and Jade from the volunteer camp. Did you see that one where you had your hand on her head?
Yeah.
I'd love to reach out to Jade actually and get her side of what was going on at that moment for her. But tell me what you were feeling and what was happening at that moment. And then we'll tie it back into this story as well, which I see is where you're going with your healing energy.
A lot of people don't just suffer from physical pain. They suffer from what we call mental pain, which is anxiety. And we really don't have any problems, but the problems that we do have are brought from the outsider influence. You know, what people think about us, our bills, we got to do this, we have to do that. We have to conform to how people think of us. And people forget that they're every single human being, every animal, every plant is all tied into one consciousness. And we're special. All of us are special. But they forget this. You know, so they get their heads mixed up and everything gets mixed up and jumbled up inside all the time. So with Jade, she suffered really, although she was so beautiful. What a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
You know, but she didn't think she was beautiful. Like a lot of beautiful women, they don't think that they're actually beautiful. Huh? And they have the problems up here. So how I can describe it is, imagine a glass cup, a glass of water. Imagine just a glass of water. And if you put a heat underneath this, if you heated it up, you'd have all these bubbles. Yeah, no, heat it. If you heat it, you have all the bubbles coming up. And each one of those bubbles inside your mind is a thought.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So you're not stilling the mind. You're not knowing yourself. So each one of them bubbles is a thought. And all these thoughts in the brain continue all the time, which causes anguish, it causes anxiety, causes paranoia, causes all sorts of problems. You know, it can lead to drug addiction, it can lead to this and to do, or alcoholism. You drink more, you try to blot all this out, you look for ways to stop this. But you don't look inside. You forget to look inside. You forget to know yourself. You don't try to find yourself, your true self. So what I tended to explain to people is that if you let this glass just cool down, well, then all these bubbles start disappearing. And then you have, with a stillness, you have a flat level. And then the mind is settled. Once you start settling the mind, then you can look deeper inside yourself and you can know yourself. Because everyone has different faces, Brent. You go to work, you have your work face. You know, you have your mate's face when you're with your mates. It's like being an actor, not being an actor. You know, like an actor plays a part. This is why so many actors lose their minds, because they take on these personas. They take on, we all do it. We take on these different things. And in real life, oh, I've got the husband face on. I've got the father face on. And you're still trying to deal with all the rest of the problems that's going on in your mind. So they forget how beautiful each and every life is. And so they forget to know thyself. You know? Mm-hmm. To know oneself first, to put oneself first, and to find yourself is most important. Once you find yourself, then you see the doors opening and you're able to deal with the structure around you much more easily. You're able to deal with life. You look at a tree differently. You look at a plant differently. You look at your child differently. You know? Just recently, my own daughter, she's been through some really bad times at the moment. But these bad times have been by herself, and she's very gifted. She has my gifts as well. Not as powerful as me, but she could be. And then, see, that's the word, using the word powerful. Why would you use the word powerful? I am what I am. I even surprise myself sometimes with what I can do. So when someone says use the word powerful, that means, no, to use the word power, that means you have power over somebody else, which is something I don't have. You know, what I try to turn around and say to them or show them is that even when I'm giving a healing, when I give someone a healing, I'm allowing them to heal themselves. This is the trick. Yeah?
I'm starting to understand that. Sorry, cut you off. Say that again, Tony.
I can give them the necessary energy, and I can take any pain that a person has inside them. I can take that out into myself. And I've met many times, people have witnessed this. I've taken a person with a punctured lung who's had pneumonia, who's had to travel down from Highbrook. I took every ounce of pain out of his body. It took me 3.5 hours to recover from that. 3.5 hours to recover. I was in absolute agony. But it doesn't affect me. It's just pain. So it comes in one way and goes out the other way. It goes into the earth. Because I'm bonded to the earth. I'm bonded to everything. So when you know yourself and you find yourself, like you've done, look at the trip you've been on. You look at things differently. Mm-hmm. You treat animals differently.
Yes.
You treat people that you meet differently. You're in awe. You come walking out and you're actually, every day is a different day. You live in that moment. Yesterday is gone. Right? So yesterday's problems are gone because they're not, you know. And then tomorrow, why are you planning for tomorrow? It's not even here yet. Oh, let's go and have an holiday in a month's time. Something always happens. Huh? Something always happens. Someone always comes along and sticks us. It's like sticking a stick in the spoke of the wheels, and you go over the handlebars. You understand? Yeah.
That's life.
That's how I could describe it. Something comes along that messes everything up. So always live in the moment and think of how beautiful the gift of life is itself. And when you can do, with me, people turn around and saying, do you want anything? I said, I don't need anything. I don't need anything. Why would I need anything? I'm still wearing clothes at 30 years old. It doesn't bother me. I live in an old trader. Lovely, brilliant. Mm-hmm. You know, I've got this room here. I don't have to pay for this room at the moment. I'm eating organic food. I help the people. They help by me giving. There's another word, giving. Some people that we all know, they always sort of like, we always come across these characters that give to receive, don't they?
Yeah.
You remember, these people are, you're in the bar, you've been out a few nights beforehand and you've had a few drinks with somebody. And he's bought you a pint. You know, he's bought you a beer.
I know the
You
guy.
think nothing of it. You know? 2 or 3 days later, the guy comes in, you're the same group of people, and you look up, this sort of person to look up. Oh, by the way, you owe me a beer.
Yeah.
Huh? What do you mean I owe you a beer? Well, I bought you a beer the other night. Yeah, you did, as a matter of fact, you did. So now I owe you a beer, do I? Yeah. Well, okay then. Well, that marks that down, that person, as you know how he views life. You know, no matter what he does, he always wants something back. He always wants to receive. So when someone says to me, what do you get out of it? What do you mean, what do I get out of it? I said, I don't give to receive. I said, let me use the word receive. I said, what I receive, you cannot even put a price on. You can't put a price on it. You can't put a price on love. Yeah, you give for love. You know, you love each and every person, and we're not there to judge people because they're living their own lives anyway. Who am I to judge that person? I may dislike what he does. I may dislike what somebody does or how they act. But when I see people acting indifferently to somebody else, I stand close to them and I feel their pain. The pain that they hide. Everybody's hiding something inside of them. You know? So when these people act out, you go, why is this going on here? I don't know. Oh, yeah, hang on, let me go and stand by him a moment. You know, many times I've done that. And if I can stand within 6 foot of somebody, it's best when I walk up behind them or by the side of them. And sometimes I just put my fingers on their shoulders and I watch them change. I love doing that.
Mm.
I actually love doing that to somebody. And then they're in mid-sentence, they're saying something, they're like, what's happening? Their words are, what's happening? Well, what's going on, mate? What's up? What's up? What's up? No, it's like what was that? What he said is like the air changed, or I know, or you've just released something in them, and it just changes them. That's the good thing about what I can do.
And you do it for good.
Always.
Right?
Always.
Because we can bring people down. We can make people change with our energy one way or another.
So when you wake up and when you practice meditation, and meditation should be a daily practice, you know, I meditate I always use Tibetan bowl music because Tibetan bowls are ancient and each one is tuned to a chakra. You know, and I love meditating to 5 to 8 hertz. Now, to know that a bowl is tuned in, so 5 and 2 is 7.
Okay.
7 and 5 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. So if all the numbers add up to 3, 6, or 9, you know, the frequency of the universe, 369, Nikola Tesla,
Yeah.
then you know that it's beneficial for your body.
Okay.
That it's
I didn't know that.
beneficial for your mind and your body. We all know now. We know now that everyone has a frequency. Rocks, stones, trees, plants, even viruses.
Oh, here we go. Uh-oh.
Even viruses.
What do you mean,
You
viruses?
know, when we look back at the sort of like many years ago, in the 30s, was it? The Rife Machine. You ever heard of that? The Rife Machine.
Nope. Tell me about that.
RIFE. Just Google RIFE, Rife, and they bring up his name. Now, this guy was a genius. He invented a machine using crystals, and crystals are a big thing because your blood is crystalline as well. Using crystals and sound to cure diseases. And he invented a machine. So they gave him 100 patients, all terminal cancer patients. Terminal. And he cured every single one of them. Every single one of them patients. I can't remember, it was 1935 or 1937. I mean, my mind is so full of stuff sometimes.
You were about
But he
12?
cured them all. But he wasn't allowed to. He wasn't allowed to bring that machine disappeared. But just recently now, there's been some studies done where they took some cancerous cells and they used a frequency between 100 hertz, 100,000 hertz and 300,000 hertz, and it killed the cancer cells. So this is nothing. The same. My mind is just so. When we think of the pyramids, when we think about the old Dolmecs as well, when they used to build these big hills and you had the sun go down into the center, you find a lot of the stones in the internal works of these structures are quartz. They're, yes, or
Stay with me,
now
Tony.
quartz stones, when you make certain sounds, produce frequencies, and they germinate plants quicker. The pyramids did this. They made germination period. They produced an energy. You know, there's never anyone ever buried in them things in any of them pyramids. Inside was made of black granite. There were chambers, and then you could use them, and you could use the sounds. In India, they use the sound. There's stones that sing. You can hit big stones, and they sing. Hence the singing bowls. So the frequency, when you're listening to it, vibrates your chakra. It vibrates it. And then you start feeling them turning and slowly, because each one turns. So and each one, as each one's turning and you're bringing them in, you feel your whole body changing. You feel better. You feel, I use them every night. I use them constantly. Whenever I want to rest, I put 528 hertz on. I put 425 hertz on, which is a very good thing. They changed the music in the planet. This is why the industry changed. All music used to be recorded at, I think, 425, but it's now 440. Or was it 43 something? Well, they changed it to 440 to mess with your bodies. To mess with you, because your aura picks it up. Your chakras pick up the sound. Every sound that comes to you. That's why you think of somebody sometimes and he's got a nice voice, hasn't he? When he speaks. No, doesn't that sound nice? When you hear different things, you go, what was that? When you're in nature and you listen to nature. I haven't seen a TV, but 5 months, it's brilliant. 5 months I haven't watched TV or something like that. I do get my news on here because I keep up to date on the news. I watch I get the Kathmandu Post and things like this. And I always got my friends stay in touch with me as well. Oh, did you see this? No, I don't. No. I'm not interested in that. So at the moment, I'm outside here. All I can hear is crickets, frogs.
Hang in there, Tony. What's happening? What's happening? Tell me about that.
And whenever you, I understand. Whenever you talk about being awoken, frequency, spirit, they love it. They absolutely love it. Because you've been told since childhood it's a bad thing. Your priest used to tell you it's a bad thing. I had a priest turn around and told me that I was the devil. Because I can see ghosts, because I can see spirits, because I can feel them and they come to me. I'm also able, getting back to when I was talking about Surendra's mother. So her husband died without saying goodbye to her. And all he wanted to do was hold her hand one more time.
Yeah.
So I used the Devi prayer, Craig Puris. It's the 108 names of Devi, which is God under his special legends. You know on your beads, you have 108 beads when you're walking.
I don't know that. No.
No, Buddhists. You know when Buddhists have a bead, they have the beads.
Don't know that.
So when a Buddhist monk walks, he has beads in his hand.
Okay.
Muslims do it as well. And they move one bead at a time. And there's 108 beads on each link, which is the 108 names that the Indians have, that the Indian culture has, for God, for Devi.
Okay.
The 108 names of Devi. So I listen to this, and it sends me into a sort of trance. And then my spirit moved aside while his spirit came into me. Because he wanted that final touch. And you would have been shocked. I don't think you would have been shocked. You would have been in awe. Because I've only done this 5 times before for people. I'm able to do this. And it's allowed. So all of a sudden, my whole body shrinks. Not in the physical sense. So I became a 72-year-old man. I couldn't walk because I'd been injured. All I could do was dribble. You know? I was dribbling. I was taken into the prayer room of this house where the picture of the Father is up, where it said prayers are said every day for him, and candles are lit for him, and flowers and food is put out for him. This is the Brahmin way. This is the Brahmin way of the Hindu culture. And you know me, I can't even sit cross-legged. I have trouble sitting cross-legged. All of a sudden, I'm placed. It took 4 people to lift me, to take me into the home, and the mother was there, and they put me down, and I actually sat properly cross-legged. They said I was sat cross-legged. I was hunched over. I was dribbling, because then I realized the only way, that was my only form of communication. And my left hand, they said they filmed it, my left hand reached out and held her hand. And that was the touch that he wanted.
Wow.
And he was only allowed to do this once. Although he's come to me again when I've been there, and I said, no, the deal was you was allowed to do this once. You was allowed to hold her hand, and she was allowed to see you in me, because I became you. But I couldn't speak because my jaw was broken.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that when you leave this plane of existence, when you leave here, if you meet a medium or clairaudient, or whatever they call me, or whatever too many things I am, I think sometimes. But when so when these things happen, is that you actually you cannot come back as the boy you was. You understand?
Nope.
You
I don't
come back. You come back the moment that you died.
Okay.
You come back as you died. So he died in an accident. So he had to come back in the form of his physical form, not his spiritual form. This is it. So when you enter the spirit realm, you're pure energy.
Okay. Can I touch on that?
When you dimension, you want to.
So you're cutting out.
When you want to come back into this dimension, you want. I cut out a bit, did I?
Yeah, it's okay. Happens. You're in Nepal on a phone. It's amazing.
Now, when you want to, yeah. So when you want to come back into this dimension and you want to make contact, you come back at the moment that you died. You become that form. So there I am, brain injury, jaw broken, dribbling, hunched over, 72-year-old man. So he couldn't speak, but he could cry. He could cry with tears of joy. So it lasted about 15 minutes, where then it became a bit too much for me, where all I did was hold her hand. He could reach out using my physical form to hold her hand. And she knew it was him. She was crying. Everyone in the room was crying. Everyone in the room cried. But there was no tears of sadness. There were tears of joy. Because he could finally turn around and say, that was his goodbye to her. He never said goodbye. He went to work that day, 72 years old, still working. Walked everywhere, walked for miles. And then that day walking, got hit by a motorbike.
Wow.
You know, come out of nowhere.
That's powerful, man. Wow. And
But it was a powerful moment. But I've only done this 5 times previously, because it has an effect on you. Because if you did it for everybody, imagine that. Huh? God damn. It'd be never ending.
And I wanted to touch on that while we have that thought in mind. Like what an incredible story. And I met an incredible woman down in South Africa named Linnell, and she's going to be on the show in a future episode. You'll get to know her. She's fantastic. Her thing to me, her saying was, we are all just walking each other home.
That's what we're doing.
Is that sounded like the best description of that I've heard. And that's what was going through my head. Is that what I'm hearing you say? And what does that mean?
Yeah, we are. See, the trouble with spirit as well is that they're very jealous of us. Okay. They're home. They've gone home. They're waiting to be incarnated again. And it normally 2 generations. And you normally came back into the same soul tribe. So you might be born back into the same family. But you can't come back straight away unless you're stillborn. Huh?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So if you're stillborn, or you die before you die in sort of like the first year of your life, you normally come back pretty quickly. But if you die, if you've had a good long life and you die, it's normally 2 generations that it'll skip. You have to wait 2 generations. And you're normally born back into the same soul tribes. Because you always bump into someone sometimes and you're like, how do I know you?
I feel that. I feel
You
that
know
right
this
here.
person.
I feel that right here.
How do I know?
I know this guy.
How do I know you? It could be it's the same thing with someone I met, Ayushma. I knew her. It turned out that I've known her, and we've known each other in our previous lives. We've known one another. We'll be doing the same thing. You know, I mean, if I never see this woman again, I know I'll see her in another life. I'm happy with that. I've got no problem with that.
Well, my dog, I had a dog, and the dog and now I have it on my shirt. He's still alive up in Coldstream. His name's Cedar.
Yeah.
And then I walk into a store, and this shirt was there, and I bought this shirt. Is that similar?
It's like a little nudge.
A little nudge.
It's like a little nudge sometimes.
Cedar.
The synchronicities that happen.
Cedar.
But don't forget, animals got a habit of hanging around their previous owners, you know. Animals love hanging around them. They can be as mischievous as other spirits. They love hanging around their previous owners. It's just one of those things. Butterflies is one of the main things. Butterflies one of the easiest things for a spirit to come from this side to this side to show that they're someone who wants home is a butterfly. I've had a butterfly when I was with my partner many years ago with Joe, and her granddad died, and we had the house then, the cars and all this other stuff, all the material, all that material stuff. And it was winter. It was cold outside. Butterflies don't even hang around in the winter. We've got double glazing, everything, all the windows are shut. We've got the central heating on. We're sat in the lounge, we're just watching a program, and out of nowhere, in the middle of the room, pop, appeared a butterfly. Like it just come from one dimension into this dimension.
Wow.
And it started flying around the room, and my girlfriend was screaming, my partner, Joe, she was screaming her head off. She goes, what's going on? What's going on? I said, calm down, calm down. I don't know if this is for me or for you. And with that, this butterfly flew around, and it kept on dive bombing Joe. I went, I know who this is. She goes, that's his granddad. She said, no, it can't be. I said, I've tried to explain these things to you, but you're not getting higher. With that, the butterfly flew around, landed on her arm, and then walked up and on her shoulder, and his little antennae was going like this. Right? And then it flew off again. She said, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it. I said, because your mind is not ready to accept it.
Yeah.
I said, watch this then. So I caught the butterfly gently, opened the patio door, double glazed, put it outside, shut the door, sat back down on the settee. I said, wait. I said, wait for it, wait for it. Whoop, there it come again, out of nowhere. And done the same thing again. It was like he was playing a joke with her. And in the end, she became more and more relaxed with it. I said, it's granddad, just come to turn around and say hello to you. I said, because I know, and you know at the moment, I know you're going through a pretty bad time in your mind. Because she had to get off mosquitoes. Difficult to tell. When I say this is going on Facebook, isn't it? I can't put that on there.
Yeah, don't kill a mosquito live on Facebook. That's just that. Don't do that.
No.
Let them bite you.
Remember, all lives matter. All lives matter apart from mosquitoes.
Wow, this is awesome, Tony. I love you. I just love you. I just want to say that I love you.
Yeah. You know, there's many things that each and one of us can do to help one another. You know, the simple thing when you're walking down the road, you're so woke now. I mean, you are. I mean, you're glowing. I can see a glow around you. Is that when you see these people, don't forget, this COVID not only has woken people up, some people, I mean, I've had some friends, and it's the first time in my life on Facebook that I've actually, and they've been close friends of mine for many, many years, I've actually unfriended them. And that's not like me.
Sure.
Because I can't keep listening to the same rhetoric And one of them's a very intelligent man. He's a school teacher as well. And he's a writer as well. And he's a school teacher. And he's a very intelligent. And him and his mother, they started berating me because I posted a few things. And it resonated with me. And they're going, oh, conspiracy theorist this, conspiracy theorist that. I said, well, one day you might just wake up to the truth. And when you wake up to the truth and you wake up to the world, that's going to scare the living shit out of you, isn't it? I said, but in the meantime, I'm sorry, but I have to unfriend you now.
Good on you for using your words. Good on you for using your words and explaining why. You know, I've been guilty of that in the past. I had a moment in South Africa. I unfriended 3 or 4 people that were long-term friends of mine. I just went, gone. Because I just, the rhetoric that was coming out didn't jive with where I was at. The mistake I made is I didn't explain it to them. I didn't give a reason why. I was in a bit of a growth spurt and I just didn't want to hear it. And I went, no longer friends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why should you give a reason? Yeah, but the thing is, why should you give a reason? Why should you give a reason? Because you already understand. You all have to understand is that they're not resonating at the same frequency as you are. So no matter what you do or say, no matter what excuse that you make, well, you don't need to make excuses. We don't need to make excuses.
Yeah.
Even if you try to explain them in the most simplest of terms, you know, they still would get it. They still wouldn't get it. They still wouldn't understand it.
Yeah, I hear you.
So there's no use in trying. The only way I see forward in that stage is that, well, I'll leave you to it. I can always friend you again later on.
And I did with a couple,
See?
So you brought me to a moment I wanted to get your take on, because I've heard this a lot in the last 2 years, that the earth is spinning at a frequency, right? And it was spinning at a low frequency, a conscious frequency is what I'm talking about. And I don't really understand this.
About a human resonance.
Yeah. And in the last 2 or 3 years, it's moving. And
it's going up.
Tell me about that.
So originally, I think it was 7.85 hertz or 7.83 hertz.
Okay.
Which is what you resonate at.
Okay.
Which the human body was resonating at 7.83 hertz. And just recently, it's been going up to over 100 hertz. This is why people have been waking up. Right. Now, our children, we are at our evolutionary stage where we can do anything. We can run, we can walk, we can climb, we can do this if we're able-bodied. But the next step of evolution is your mind. Yeah. Okay. You're only using 10 to 12% of your brain. So the next step of evolution is then every generation is going to be changing. It's the children. Oh my God, there's a girl of 4 who speaks 6 languages fluently. A boy of 6 who's a concert pianist. You've got 2 girls in Africa who actually created a machine to produce electricity from their own urine. My God, all these intellectuals that are being born now. But the governments of the world knew about this. They knew, well, the people in power, the so-called, whatever they are, Illuminati, Cabal, the ones who use the ancient knowledge for their own benefit, but they use it in a bad way. The priest's knowledge is from the Egyptian times, from Amun, not Amen, Amun. The fact that you can use energy for good and for bad, and they use it for their dark side, made up dark and light.
Mm-hmm.
But these children, they decided to give this a name. They called it ADHD. Huh? Now, you imagine a child whose mind is all of a sudden, you keep them in the same sort of positions as you would any other child, but their mind's running around faster than anybody else's. And you're not giving them the education that they need to understand that. I'll tell you what, let's give them a drug, shall we? We'll call it Ritalin. You understand? They're dumbing them down. They're squashing them. They're squashing the kids. They're not allowing them to come out. The education system that we've got now is what's been in place. You've got to still do the same thing. Put your hand up. You're doing 200 years ago. Can I go to the toilet, miss? Can I go to the toilet, sir? 200 years ago, they were doing that. You know, in the last 200 years, we've gone from steam engines into space.
Yeah.
But we're not changed on the education system. Kids should be allowed to be kids. They should be running around. They should be A school should be built like a theme park,
Yes.
so they can play and enjoy themselves and find their own way. You know, and then they start maturing. They come past that first 7 years, that first chakra. And as they come into their second chakra, which is where children nowadays, they're maturing a lot faster. But it comes into your sexuality, the sacral chakra, your sacral one. You know?
Yeah.
Now I know this is beyond your lower abdomen. Okay.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, that's your, so that one would be your sex organs, your bladder, and your pelvis. And this is your development stage. This is one, oh, you don't know me, you know? You don't know what I'm talking about. Every parent's complaining and they go to me, oh, my daughter's just been complaining now. Oh, Todd's reaching 13, his voice is changing. He's changing down, he's changing like all girls and boys change downstairs and everything else like that. He's saying the same thing to his mother, what she was saying to her mother, because I never got to bring her up. But she would say the same, you don't understand what she does. I do understand you. I understand you, but your mother doesn't understand you. I understand exactly what you're going through. And I reminded her the other day of what I said to her when she was 12, 13 years old. When she was moaning to me on the phone about her son, I went, oh dear, here we go again. You're the same as what you went through. I said, you remember what I did for you? Well, I said, I bought you a taekwondo dummy, didn't I? So you could kick the shit out of it. Now, whenever you was angry, that you took it out on the dummy rather than take it out on your mother and any other person around you. Because your hormones are changing, your mind is changing, your body is changing. It's a big thing to happen when you hit that second one. You hit that second chakra. It's a massive change. And then you've got the discovery one then. So when you go from the second chakra to your third chakra, when you go from second to third, it's like your navel. When you come up here to the back of, back of your navel and that. This is where we make our mistakes. We think we still know it all. We're going out with the boys. We're going out like that. We're trying to get laid as many times as we want.
Is that the solar plexus?
Drugs, we discover drink. We discover all sorts. But it's a learning curve. You know? And then from there you go to 28. Now we also know that in Hindu tradition, the 28 is when you really start maturing properly. You're not mature until you hit 28, really.
42,
because you're still making all these other mistakes. But 28 is when they get married out here. Did you know that?
In Nepal or?
Well, in Nepal and in some sects of Nepal, right? Some people here, when I say sect, S-E-C-T-S, they don't like getting married until they're 28. Well, you have to be married by the time you're 28.
Yeah, because I remember some pretty young marriages when I was there.
There's still some young marriages that go on.
And the cast and the system.
Suman.
Yeah.
Suman Oppin, I remember he was 18. He was married at 18. Mm-hmm. He's a father now. He's had his first child, and he married a 17-year-old girl. I mean, but when you look at it in a maturity side, so I don't think I actually matured properly until I was 28. I didn't get married until I was 28, actually.
Was I 28?
I got married. I was 28 when I got married.
I was 31 when I got married.
Yeah, I got divorced at 31.
I got divorced at 36.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she divorced me. But I'm still great friends with her.
Yeah, I miss that. I don't have that. I miss that. I'd like to be friends with her if I could. Yeah. Yeah,
I even went, when she remarried, I even went to her wedding.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So I was fine. It's like all my relationships, all my exes. I'm great friends with them. I'd rather be someone's friend than rather just someone's enemy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, it's all good. I thought we could only get 40 minutes on this because that's what they turn around and say to me I could only have on my video time on this basic thing.
Dude, I am not cutting you off. I had no plan.
No.
You stay as long as you want to. As long as you want to stay.
It's on 11/11, by the way, as well.
It's 11/11.
Number 11/11. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great timing. When we finish this, I want you to look at a 3 or 4 minute video that I just pasted on my Facebook homepage from Dan Mangena, and we'll get a chance to meet him on the show as well. He's incredible. This is his book, the Dreamers Manifesto. And it's about dreaming with your eyes open, but not getting too, and I'm paraphrasing this. It's better to watch what Dan posted, but let's not rely on the 1111s. Let's not see the signs and think that's all we have to do. It's about still.
No. It's not all we have to do. I've just got to put my phone on charger.
Right. It's about keeping ourselves still on Earth and moving towards real 3D life. But be aware of them. Be open to the 1111s and the 4-leaf clovers and the rabbit's foots and the signs and the thoughts. But don't just wait for an 1111 and do nothing else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. You had the trouble. People try. I was looking for all they're saying to you is they're synchronicities.
Yeah.
It's just reminders.
Yeah.
It's only a reminder.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be looking. You shouldn't be looking for all the time. But sometimes when something happens to you, or something along your path comes along, and something good, or another person comes along, it's just so that I don't wear a watch. So I don't go by time. I don't live in this time capsule. I don't wear a watch. I don't have a calendar. I don't even know what day it is. What day is it today?
Saturday morning here, so it would be Sunday evening for you, maybe? Because you're a day ahead. There's a timeline, right? A date line, I think? Or was that Bali?
No. So it's Saturday evening. If it be Saturday evening here, it's late Saturday evening. So I'm
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
It's about 14 hours, isn't it? Something like that.
I haven't had a regular work schedule since 2015. Every day is a Friday.
That's what I'm trying to say. I have to ask people. I said, "What day is it then?" And then, what do you mean? I said, "Well, I have to keep an eye on the days because I have to find I have to find that because I have to speak to my daughter. This light's interfering now. I'm trying to get a decent light. Yeah. That one better. That's better.
Fit, my man. Look at you. Look at those arms. The old 6'1's looking good on you. Yeah, buddy. You work hard.
Don't think I've dropped 2 stone.
Yeah. And stone for our Western viewers and listeners, you said was 12.5 kilos?
12.5 kilos, yeah.
25 kilos you've lost since the last time I saw you, probably.
No, I've actually, so just 2.2 pounds to this 2.2 pounds at a kilo. So 20 is 14, so 24, about 28 pounds. 28 pounds, which is 2 stone, is 14 pounds to the stone.
Sure.
Yeah, I know, mate. This Western thing, innit? You know?
Well, the Americans...
they changed us home to kilograms and grams and everything else like that. But we still go by miles.
The miles, like, what are the Americans doing, man? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I know.
Tens. It makes so much sense. Memorizing miles and 2.5 centimeters in an inch and 12 inches in a like, what are you guys doing? Like, everyone else is on this 10 thing. Like, come on, we're over here. But and then stone. Like, I'd never even heard of stone before. Tell me about that. Is it British?
It's typically English,
English, okay.
Well, don't forget, back in Sumeria, 6 was the magic number.
Oh, yeah.
So everything's done in 6s. 60 seconds, 60 seconds to the minute, 60 minutes to the hour. Yeah.
Okay. Sumeria. What's Sumeria?
And the calendars were different. There was 13 months to the year, not 12 months. The 13 months because you had 13 moons.
Oh, okay.
There's 13 moons in every year.
Yeah, okay. I got you.
13 full moons. So I know. So before the Gregorian, before the calendar all got changed by those who do. I know. Constantinople, was it? I think so. Yeah, King Constantine. When they changed everything. The year, I think it was the year 365 or 653. It's on my head.
Do you know anything about? Do you know anything about Charlemagne's empire and the Paladins?
No, Charlemagne, like everything, all these empires that, once again, greed and control. You had the Roman Empire, that fell. You had the Ottoman Empire, and that fell. Genghis Khan, if he'd have carried on the way, he could have gone through Rome. I mean, he conquered more of the world than anybody else. Then you had Alexander. You had all these people who thought they could rule the world. Why such greed? Mass destruction everywhere. The same, I mean, we have the American, I mean, they call themselves a republic, but then they think they're an empire because of what they've done in the Middle East and everyone else they've done like that. I know, I mean, they live on this side of the world, but why are they interfering with China? Why is all the ships over there? I don't get it.
Yeah.
People have to come to the understanding. They have to come to soon that war is obsolete. War has got to become obsolete. But I also think that war in many ways is used in the way of depopulation. It's got to be. They have to look at it as a depopulating the planet. We've gone in the way they go about it. I mean, war now. I mean, I'd like to have been involved in a war where a man was stood there with a sword and you with a sword and the best man won. Thank you very much.
Yeah, gladiator style.
Proper gladiator style. Like
Absolutely. Give me an arena and put some steel there and let's just go toe to toe, pal. Let's do it.
I'd like to have been trained. I'd like to have been a Spartan in a previous life.
I'd love to beat the shit out of you. It'd be so
I would like to have been one of the 300. Trained from birth.
Oh, dude.
You remember that? Imagine that, trained from birth. And then your country stood for everything, which it does. Your land stands for everything. But we're only caretakers. Remember this. We're only caretakers. And it's how we take care of one another and how we take care of the land. This is why I love where I am at the moment. I watch these people get up at 5:30 in the morning and they don't stop till 7:30. And then we all eat, then we all eat.
I saw your video. There was a lot of people helping out on that roof.
That's the family.
That's the whole family. So 50,
that's the whole family.
50-ish or so up there.
Pardon?
Hand mixing. You guys were hand mixing.
Yeah, hand mixing.
Yeah, it was awesome. Watching that, I'm like, wow. I remember the little volcano and moving around with the shovels and the heavy, the gravel and the sand and the cement. But you had the whole community there. It looked like.
Well, no. That's the family.
Wow.
I learned to be able to build a taro house, proper mud house.
Okay.
With no nails. No nails. I cut the bamboo down with them. I cut bamboo down. I stripped bamboo. I used to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. We worked till 10 o'clock. We'd have something to eat. And don't forget, the temperature was getting up to 46 degrees centigrade here at one time.
Whoa.
So we worked. Whoa, tell me about it. Yeah, I thought I was melting. So we would work then till 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30, have something to eat, and then we'd go to sleep for a couple of hours. We'd go and rest. Then we get up and we go and work. But in the meantime, all the fields that they plough, everything is ploughed. So we're on the second crop of corn. With all the rice fields have been, and all the rice, you look out there and it's just green everywhere. All organic, all the rice is in the fields. And everything that you eat, the peppers. I've got outside of my room out here, there's a free piece of land. So they come in here, cleared it, and I've got all pepper plants all popping down through there.
Oh, nice.
Because they love their peppers. They love their green peppers. Oh, I can't stand them.
All bought with peppers, baby.
I'm all right with the reds at the moment. Yeah, I know. I mean, Bainey, she's been breaking me in for the last 6 weeks by giving me. She used to cook with me. She used to cook for me without any peppers, and then all of a sudden it's sort of like she used to slip it in. So whatever they was cooking for themselves, as long as it didn't have green peppers in, then she slipped the red ones in. So I got all of a sudden my taste buds have suddenly changed, and I'm starting to get used to it. But I always have to have a nice bottle of water by the side of me, which is just pumped out the ground, so fresh. And I'm drinking about 4 litre bottles at 4 litres a day. Because we're still up in the high 30s here. It's monsoon time, and I tell you, mate, the storms here, the electrical storms, are biblical.
Wow.
It feels like there's a war going on above the clouds. There's this tremendous war going on. And the only way I could describe it is if you've ever watched a film of the Battle of the Somme in the First World War,
okay,
when the guys were in the trenches. If you ever get a chance to see any of the old films of that, and they were being bombarded, and every second a bomb was landing, I know, and there's just boom, 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 boom. Well, that's the same as an electrical storm out here. It's not just one strike of lightning. You are surrounded 360 degrees, and it's the sky's just alight, and the cracks and the booms and the sounds, and you see it going straight across the sky. And I'm stood outside, and I'm laughing and going, Valhalla! The gods are at war up there.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Bring
awesome.
it on. Bring it on. No evacuation. I stand out there, no whistles, no evacuation. Because you remember on base, we'd be evacuated.
What was the 30-second rule? If lightning and thunder were 30 seconds apart, we were in. Something like that?
That's right. 30-second rule. The
Yeah.
30-second rule, and then you'd have to go. Oh, that used to, I know. When we was in Marion, that really used to hurt me, that did. I said, do I have to really go in there with all them people? Yeah, Tony, you really do. I said, oh, no, don't make me do that. And I'd sit near the door. And me and Pierce used to sneak. Me and Pierce would sneak out and go down to the toilet. I know, because you have to hold up. Of course you would. We go down to the toilet. And they look at me and they go, they shake their heads and go, you were such a naughty boy. I went, I'm 61. I'm 60 years old now. You're calling me a boy, are you, Ned? Huh?
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, buddy, this has been incredible. You're amazing. And how are you feeling about this whole thing? You want to do it again one day?
Of course. I'll tell you, I'm always there for you, which I've always said I always will be. Once we meet each other, we're there. We're bonded for life. And then if there's anything else you want to discuss later on in the future, I mean, there's plenty of information that we can talk about with the chakras and that, how they're interrelated and how they can be interrelated with illnesses, the troubles that you can have in different areas of your body if the chakras are not working properly. And don't forget, we are what we eat as well. So you need to eat the right foods. You need to be eating the right.
I went to McDonald's and had a hot dog yesterday.
Shut up.
I did.
Why would you even eat that stuff?
I don't know.
Do you drink Coca-Cola?
Not very often. I'm good with the pops.
No, I wouldn't go near that.
But yeah, I'm 43 and I still eat McDonald's. Like, what am I doing?
But you should be eating.
The hot dog.
I wouldn't go.
Hot dog.
I wouldn't go near any. I wouldn't go near any of that stuff. I don't go near any of that.
I'm going to blame my mother. Mom, this is you. Not McDonald's. Mom's not a McDonald's person.
I mean,
but the white bread. English
you are, have you thought about setting setting up your own little organic veg little plot or something like that?
I should. I know. I don't know why I don't.
You've got that there. You could have raised boxes, and you'd be surprised how much joy you get about growing your own food, and all of a sudden you're getting the minerals from the earth as well. So when you actually pluck it, you take something that's fresh that day and eat it that day. It's like, it's so different. Yeah. So different.
We have a few herbs here, but no, I know. I'll learn.
All right.
I'll learn when I'm ready.
One love, my brother.
All right, buddy. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Thank you. I'm glad that us two took about 2 hours to figure out this basic technology, but we got there together.
Remember, our old ceremony said you do one act of kindness every day. One act of kindness. And each person who does one act of kindness, hands it on and pass it on. And if it keeps going like that, and each person does one act of kindness, even if it's a smile, even if it's a hug, well, if you see someone desperate, yeah, I can help you. That's it. One act of kindness every day. One love, my brother.
One love, my brother.
So I suppose that's over and out for us now, isn't it? It's been absolutely excellent.
I guess this is chakras and shit.
Well, yeah, it's not even about chakras. We went off the beaten track a little bit on different things and that, but my mind works like that. When you mention something and it's like the information sometimes is just being fed to me.
I look forward. Sorry, I was just gonna say I look forward to channeling something with you next time as well. We'll see.
Excellent. I'd love to. Yeah. Let's find some like-minded people as well. They love it. We all group chats with like-minded people.
They're out there.
Okay.
And
good night and God bless.
We'll keep this thing spinning quick. Not quick, but we're
always
rising consciousness.
It's not the spin of the earth. It's electromagnetic force field around it, which is the human resonance. And don't forget, every planet has its own frequency.
next week on Chakras and Shit.
Okay.
All
Don't
right,
miss
buddy.
it.
Love you.
Okay then, buddy.
Okay.
Love you too.
Cheers.
Bye now.
Episode 1 in the books. Thank you all for listening or viewing on Facebook. That was Tony. He is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And anyone who's met him, I'm not sure if there's any comments going on right now, but anyone who volunteered with Tony, and I have a lot of friends on Facebook from all hands and hearts. He's just a legend, just an absolute legend. So hope to have him back one day soon. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see where this thing goes. Cheers.